Hi. So, welcome back. Wasn't expecting to be making games videos again, but hey, here we are. I wanted to talk a moment about this particular thing because I just find it interesting, personally, that this game, Zao, is the game that we're talking about. This game, it was an interesting Metroidvania. People kind of heard about it a bit at the Game Awards, and then it just kind of faded into obscurity. The game got released. It met with minimal interest, and then people found out that it was involved with Sweet Baby Inc. Not just involved, the person that was actually working on the game is part of his Sweet Baby Inc. in its own kind of creator-based consultation firm, I suppose. People got turned off by that because Sweet Baby Inc. has a history of kind of being involved in games that tanked historically because it changed everything about that game in order to tick boxes and get the right types of audience for it. So that fell into this situation. It seems more like a domino tumble. One domino falls and knocks over another domino, which knocks over another domino. So anything that's involved with Sweet Baby Inc. obviously is something that's going to be looked at with tons of scrutiny, as was Zao. Now people are trying to say that Zao is being harassed and slandered because of its involvement with Sweet Baby Inc. And the problem is that it's just it's a game that not a lot of people were that interested in the first place. That's the problem. It's not that anybody's trying to go after anything. It's not like anybody's trying to ruin anything. It's just nobody's interested in this project, except for maybe the few people that bought it. So now it has turned into a whole snowball situation where you have IGN and Gamertag radio hosts coming in and chiming in on this particular thing. So we're going to cover those two things real quick. So IGN community lead Jada Griffin, this is from Packer Girl. Follow Packer Girl. She's actually on the money about a lot of stuff. It's heartbreaking that in 2024, one of the most authentically made games got hate and slander for just existing. One of the most beautiful stories involving loss that I've ever experienced, and is targeted for no reason other than the culture and the people. Now, it's an indie game. There's a lot of indie games that came out that deserve a lot of praise, but usually get passed over, mainly because people are focusing on the AAA games. So there's that. And then there's other instances of the Sweet Baby Inc. thing is kind of a scarlet letter in gaming. Nobody with Sweet Baby Inc. in their name thing is going to be looked at positively, mainly because of the damage that consultation firm and other consultation firms like that have done to the industry, especially the AAA industry. So you already had two strikes going against you. People that have played it have kind of came back and said that it was an okay game. There wasn't really that much going for it. Or it was kind of an empty Metroidvania, which is, you should know better than that, as well as some other things. But we're going to guilt trip people into purchasing a game clearly because Black creators. Get the whole fuck out of here. Get the whole fuck out of here. So here's the second one I want to show you. This is Scratch Point. This is another person you should probably check out and follow. Paris, who, if I remember correctly, this is Paris from Gamertag Radio. This is why Black folks are exhausted. We are constantly having to justify everything when all we really want is for our creations and voices to be respected and heard. Abu makes a game dealing with grief set in African mythology, and as expected, the diversity harassment begins. I'm sure the comments will be filled with whataboutisms and pure chaos, but sadly, I'm used to it. Now, again, this is guilt tripping. If the game has serious issues with it, like mainly being an empty Metroidvania, not being as polished as it should be, or having like a few things going on with it, people should point that out. You don't get a pass for being a Black creator. I really don't give a shit about that. I think ultimately when it comes down to it, you shouldn't give anybody a pass for any reason. If something is worth criticizing, then it needs to be criticized. People should take those criticisms to heart and put it towards your next project and be a better designer off of that. That has nothing to do with people hating you because of your skin tone, people hating you because of who you are or any of that stuff. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, and it's a goddamn shame that you have to resort to this gay tactic in order to get people to purchase a game. If people want to purchase your game, they'll purchase your game. If they don't want to purchase your game, they won't purchase your game. Simple as that. Don't need it. Don't need anybody fucking like guilting you into purchasing something or guilting you into not criticizing something. That's influencer bullshit, and I'm tired of that. I'm not giving Silent Hill 2 Remake a fucking pass, mainly because there's 2 better versions of the game that exist, probably more than 2. There's the HD remake, there's the not the Shattered Dreams one. It's Restless Dreams is the Xbox version of that, and you also have the standard PlayStation version of that. Now, the Restless Dreams content, I believe, was placed in the greatest hits version of the PlayStation 2 version, so you had that. If memory serves, I might be a little bit wrong on that. But again, if those exist, then that is the bar that's been set. So any remake game that comes out, when people try to guilt trip you on remake games, any remake game that exists and it's not hitting the bar that the original hit, it's not hitting the quality that the original had, it's not doing anything like that, yeah, criticize the shit out of it, by all means. Same thing with indie games. You have an expectation of what you expect out of a Metroidvania. If this is not hitting the bar set by some of the better Metroidvanias out there, criticize the shit out of it, by all means. If it's basically if the person behind it is involved in some shady shit, and that's putting you off to getting that, by all means. I mean, nobody should be free from criticism. I don't care what you look like. I don't care who you are. I don't care what's between your legs. I don't care who you sleep with. You are not immune from criticism whatsoever. And we will not be tolerating this for going further. I want to see what Scratchpoint has to say about this before we get out of here. There's nothing to justify. The game is out. One can make what they want, how they want, so long as they are not co-opting an established series. But it's not owed attention. The simple truth is the demographic interested in works like this is relatively small. And that's true. No matter what you think, like, it's a niche. And niches are fine. You should stick to your niche. If you have a niche of people that are interested in this thing, that's fine. Don't sit there and expect heaps of praise just because you have a skin tone or you have an abundance of melanin compared to other people. Don't trick yourself into this stuff. This is dumb. And this is mainly me talking to you, the prospective potential creator out there that wants to put out something and maybe gain something from this. The lessons that need to be learned from here is that you can't guarantee anything just off of the way you look or the way you act or your preferences or anything like that. Get your hands dirty, get the work done, put it out there. You'll find your audience in time. Anyways, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining for this. See you next boss fight. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.